Ethics Commission. Jesse Quenga in the Zoom. Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, half a day. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Bree, and good morning, Jason. I
Morning,
heard
Jeff.
his rendition earlier for the Ethics Commission, and I have to say, if we got to go give public testimony, I want to lead with Jason and then provide our testimony because I think
That's
that
it.
provides the most impact.
Right, Jay. Maybe you need to do a little video.
Well, thank you, Jess. I mean, I've known you for a really, really long time. Been having the
I feel like it's not ethical to call him Jess, though. I feel like a Jesse is like the ethical full name.
You're fine. I get all types of variations. Even Dingan is fine. So
Right.
we're good.
Director Sus.
I can't wait to be a doctor, so then they can call me Doctor Sus.
Right. Hey, then you're gonna get canceled, though.
Yeah.
706. So, Jesse, we'll get right into it here. What did you make of this bill from Senator Moylan, basically calling out the Guam Ethics Commission, saying, "Oh, it's too beholden to the governor. Governor got too much authority over you guys. Let's make it elected instead of appointed."
Wow. Good morning to you too, Chris. This is a lovely way
Good
for
morning
us
to
to
you,
start the
Senator
interview.
Moylan.
No, I think we all find that very an interesting proposal, and in fact, we're very excited to discuss that with the full commission. So, in accordance with the open government law, we are anticipating to meet this actually next week, Friday, to discuss this bill and its purpose, and to see what implications that might have for the commission. So, for now, I don't have a formal opinion or formal comment on his bill, and I hope that we can have that lively discussion at our meeting and then be able to provide testimony at the hearing.
Well, I guess just right off the bat, what would you say to members of the public who maybe would agree that it's a little too close for comfort, the governor's oversight and being able to put people on and take people off?
Well, I think that that's everyone has a point to make with regards to involvement with the administration and also the legislature. So personally, I think I can speak on my personal opinion. There is value, I believe, in having individuals who are elected. It takes them away from having the sort of influence that is expected or anticipated. But I mean, there are drawbacks as well. I think it would be great for us to review. There are other jurisdictions. In fact, I believe every state has an ethics commission, and it'd be interesting to find out how many of these states have within them elected positions, or are they filled otherwise. I just did a quick review, and Hawaii, our closest jurisdiction other than CNMI, their ethics commission members are an application process, and the members are approved by a judicial panel within the court system. So these are other ideas that I think are worth exploring. But ultimately, I think we agree with the sense that we ought to have an apolitical and independent commission, especially if we want the community to have full faith that we'll be able to hear their concerns.
Right.
And there are certain components about being independent that I feel are missed in the bill. So first is the words autonomous within the government of Guam. It currently exists in the proposed bill and in current statute that the Ethics Commission is within the government of Guam. So I'll give you a scenario. When the Ethics Commission is trying to lease a space or to procure website services, we have to go through procurement through the General Services Agency, or GSA. So the challenge we have anticipated is what would happen in a situation where a GSA buyer happens to be subject to an ethics complaint, and what predicament that might provide for us in the commission. So our response is, give us that autonomy that you've afforded to other entities that are like us, like the Office of Public Accountability and the Guam Election Commission. And in fact, there is a bill out right now that is pending a public hearing authored by Senator Joseph Augustine that would provide just that. And then there are other components too that currently exist, some safeguards, so to speak, with the current law. So it isn't, I don't think it's accurate to say that the governor alone could institute their own individuals into this commission, because there is a confirmation process. And this process is highly public and allows the legislature to provide that check and balance fully vet who are these individuals, what are their backgrounds, and do they seem fit to serve on the board? And I believe we take that away by politicizing, so to speak, this office that is supposed to be non-political. And further, our membership currently have term limits, and that's something that is missed in the bill. I would love to see term limits so you don't find individuals that are taking office for long periods of time and, so to speak, form their own kingdoms. And you find them pandering to sort of the public opinion and not so much about the interests of the public. So those are some immediate thoughts.
Right.
I want to say, though, that the commission has been involved and hit the ground running. It's not easy starting up a new government at Guam agency. There's a lot of different work that's involved, and it's exciting work, and I want to talk about a few of those things. So the commission has been able to begin the bid process for having an office. We were able to close last week, Friday, to no bidders, but we've extended that proposal for another week. And we've also begun discussions on a website, a formidable website that will allow for anyone in the community to issue complaints and be issued a ticket. And like the USPS, where you can track your package, we're hoping that the website will include capabilities where you can track complaints and find out what is the current status of your issue and where is it now within the process of being reviewed by the Ethics Commission. We have a few bills that just yesterday we were able to testify on. And yesterday's bill was authored by Senator Sabina Perez. This bill talked about mandating ethics in government training for all employees of the government of Guam. A great bill. And we testified in support of that bill. Part of the component that would allow us to avail this training to all government employees was this idea that we would offer an online learning portal so that individuals could access our webpage, watch a few videos to kind of go through the topics that need to be covered, and then get their certificate at the end. So we're very busy, and ultimately we'd like to ask to give us that opportunity to get the work done. And then from that experience, you can decide for yourself if it's worth or necessary for there to be changes in the Ethics Commission. But right now, out of the gate with all the things that are going on, to me, I think give us a chance first before we make changes when it isn't necessitated.
When are you hoping to, be able to accept complaints?
So the process we talked about in our last interview was this promulgation of rules. And at our last meeting in March, the commission gave me the green light to start to formulate and propose these set of rules. I think what is the challenge, but it's not really a challenge, is figuring out how we want to present it to the community for them to digest. So there are a few ways that we can achieve this. The first is to have all the rules ready and to give that one time to the public to consume. The other, which is a little more time sensitive, is where we break down these rules section by section and have the community involved with each of our meetings to talk about the respective section. Similar to, I think, what the process was early on for the cannabis board when they were trying to promulgate the rules. So those are up for consideration. And ideally, the timeline is to be able to have certain rules approved by May, which is next month, and then have our hearings begin in June. So if we can achieve that and then work out the rest of the components, then that would be a big win for our community, because I imagine there are a lot of people that are waiting at the door to start the process for making complaints.
Is that, though, all dependent on when you guys get in office?
No, we're exploring, and we have already capabilities like Zoom, which you use on your platform. So hearings, I think, can happen virtually. If we can establish even a virtual office, which is a website, and then we have opportunities for persons to engage with us and communicate those concerns, then if those are in place, I'm comfortable to say that we can start having those cases even without an office. But I imagine we will have one relatively soon. We're far along in the procurement process than most others are, so I'm comfortable to say that within a few weeks we will have a space.
I kind of wanted to go back to the, I guess some of the issues that, I mean, it's not just Senator Moylan. I mean, people have been talking about the Ethics Commission and, the governor and the involvement. But just having followed this story over the last, well, since Lou and Josh came into office, it was kind of like one thing after another. I know that there were definitely problems with you guys getting a budget, right? And so as it stands now, just being beholden to the whims of Lester Carlson and whether or not he's going to give you guys the money or if he's in a bad mood that day, you're not going to get, you know what I mean? So I can see that this bill from Senator Moylan puts you in an interesting position because if you're arguing for the status quo and Senator Moylan's painting it as like, oh, they're too involved with the governor, then it kind of makes it seem like you're saying, no, we're good the way it is, right?
If this is a point for comment, no, I don't think that I'm arguing for or against at this point. Do I have an opinion now? Not yet. Will I have one in the future? Absolutely.
Right.
And part of that process is to hear from the full commission and my bosses as to their desires and representing that out in the public. With regards to budget, I see that is an issue that we would have even if our members are elected, because again, there is specific language that would allow us to be independent that needs to be in statute that formulates the commission, which we don't have currently in statute and it's not in the bill as presented. So there are a few words that we would recommend if this moves along in the process as to how we can improve the bill. And it's good to mention the budget too. If you recognize that the budget provides an increase in the stipend, it's 1,000% increase. So currently our memberships get compensated the standard $50 per meeting. It's very small, and that grows to $500 a month. So the challenge will be how much that translates to an annual appropriation, which I think exceeds $40,000. So we have to go back and try to make concessions. If it does get back to us and it becomes law, then there will need to be either an increase in appropriations to the Ethics Commission, or you're going to have to ask us to make some, maybe not have an office space, or we eliminate a vacant position and it's just me again to provide services for the full board. So those are concerns that we have that I think will present a full picture for what are the true needs for the commission and what we ought to receive from the legislature and from the governor's office.
You know, when you said,
Look, no, I was gonna make a point here. Yesterday, we were described as growing a tomato fruit, and the idea was to have the tomato adjusted, so to speak, before it gets to the rotten phase. So I think we're not even at the fruit stage yet. You know, we're still a stem. We just need a little more TLC and a lot more sunshine through the Sunshine Act open government law. And I think we're going to have a very good fruit from the Ethics Commission.
yeah, that metaphor that Senator Moylan, I was like, where's that? What? I didn't get it. But hey, you said,
I think our fruit will be, go ahead. Sorry,
no,
Chris.
go ahead. Yeah. Your fruit is going to be more local or what?
No, I think our fruit will be so good that we might be able to compete with Justice Gatewood's competition for that tomato growing competition.
Oh yeah, with my tomato, I just set it and forget it. I just check, look at it. Okay,
Really?
Yeah.
I
It's a little different from an ethics commission, though.
just let it grow on its own.
Let it
That's
grow,
what,
and you're right.
That's what I do with mine.
I like that
only-
theme.
And you got that.
Let it grow on its own.
She put the stick in the
to help it along.
right to help it along, to keep it straight, Jesse, to keep it growing straight up.
And you know what? I want to say the link and a lot of media partners serve as that stick, even our community, for us at the Ethics Commission.
Really?
We want to be very public, and we want this to be a fully engaged process from start to end. And we've been able to deliver on that, and we want to continue to do that. So give us that opportunity to get this done with the process. And if it is found, down the road that perhaps there are changes that are warranted because we have evidence of it, then let's do it. I wouldn't stand in the way of that.
Yeah. When you said you did your research about how members are put into different ethics commissions, and you mentioned Hawaii, did you come across anything where it was a hybrid commission, where you had some members who were appointed, some who were elected, like the school board maybe?
I have not, but that presents a really good alternative as well. I think, see, these are all great suggestions that are worthy of exploration. A hybrid board would provide varying perspectives, so you don't have majority that are sort of pandering to the electorate and instead are rooted in trying to address these concerns as fairly and as honestly as possible. So currently, I mean, our makeup of the board are incredible professionals. And, one of the things that happens when you take office as a commissioner is you now become mandated by law to be apolitical. You cannot be involved in any campaign or make campaign contributions. And you also have to be independent. So the influence from any elected official is absent. And I don't foresee that an elected official would want to put into office somebody who is maybe a big donor or great at political strategy on how to get elected, because then they would lose that asset. But a hybrid board, back to that idea, Chris, is excellent, because my worry is just yesterday you had an interview with Maria Pangilinan. She talked about having the lowest voter participation in the history of Guam elections. So what would that mean for those that want to seek or don't seek office with the Ethics Commission? There is language in the proposed bill that majority of those who hold office will constitute a quorum. What happens if we only have 3 out of the 7 who hold office? That means 2 individuals will get to decide yes or no on all ethics cases. And I might see, compared to my current makeup, instead of seeing a medical professional or telecom executive, I might see former senators. And the perspective and their drive is different. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that we miss out on perspectives that will present us a fair and balanced review of these complaints.
For the commissioners and even for yourself, is this a situation where if there's a new governor and a new administration, that the sitting ethics commission, will be removed, and then the new governor gets to appoint whoever he or she wants?
So we are fortunate that they serve currently staggered terms. So we have 2 positions that are due to expire this year, 2 next year, and 2 the following year. So at any time, there's going to be a change in administration, and imagine there's also going to be a change in opportunities for that administration to infuse members into the Ethics Commission. We can expect that reasonably, but there's also term limits. So even if that administration were to serve the full 8 years, if they find a certain member to be favorable who's already serving when they take office, that same member would be ineligible because they reached their term limit, and they're required to find others who may be willing to serve in this capacity. And that's wisdom from the past, to think ahead and say, we don't want certain individuals to stay here forever and make kingdoms for themselves. We'd like fresh perspective and different ideas, and it forces those who hold the highest office on Guam to think about who they want to put in this position, because it is only for 2 terms at the most.
What about for your position?
So the director serves at the pleasure of the commission. And currently I serve based on majority who wish to keep me or to do a new search. And that will be up to them. So I imagine even if a different administration were to come in, it would follow the same process. Thankfully, I was not an appointee of the administration. I was selected and hired by the commission. So the membership itself have agreed to do annual performance evaluation, similar to what you would find with other similar officials like the superintendent of education or the president of the Guam Community College. I'm at the will and desires of the commission. If I do a good job, I get to stay. And if I don't, then the commission has that opportunity to launch a search and find a more suitable candidate.
But as of today, if I wanted to file an ethics complaint, I wouldn't be able to.
Well, because we want the process to be fully operational and stood up. Unfortunately, our fear is to have it received prematurely and that affecting the outcome of the ethics complaint. And we're coming in close. We're very close to having this opportunity available. And we want to be sure to tell the community that we are ready from beginning to end. You know, and you can be rest assured that your fair process will be done with regards to that complaint. And there are also questions about anonymity. So do persons who file get to be anonymous throughout, or is there a certain point in time where you have access to see who exactly is making the complaint? Because I believe those that are accused also have the right to find out who their accuser is. And we find that there are lots of jurisdictions that present us with great opportunity to review and pull away their best practices. And we're incorporating that in Guam's rule promulgation.
All right.
Okay.
When's the next meeting again?
We're meeting on Friday. Let me pull that up. Let's see. Friday, April 16th. We'll send out a media announcement to everyone. And, you know, that will be the first opportunity the commission will have to openly discuss and to come up with their position on the bill. But I just want to say that we are very excited. A lot of bills have been happening that engage us at the Ethics Commission, and we're very happy to be a part of that process. So just yesterday, again, we provided testimony of the bill that would mandate the ethics training for all government employees. A great idea. We have Senator Moylan's bill, which would make the commissioners an elected office. And then we have another bill by Senator Joe Sinaxin, which will provide for and affirm the independence of the Ethics Commission. So all these things are great for us. It keeps me busy, plenty busy, but it's exciting because it shows that there's value in our community, that we do see that the Ethics Commission is important and that we want them to succeed. And I can't fault anybody for wanting to do that. So I thank all our community members who continue to show interest. And I thank all senators, including Senator Moylan, for finding ways to improve this process. And we're excited to see it happen.
Jess, you know how you provided testimony on that one bill. Is that something that the commission is going to be doing just moving forward, like kind of looking at the lay of the land and providing testimony on measures that come through the legislature that may or may not necessarily affect the Ethics Commission?
That is something to examine. I'd love to bring that up to the board to see if that is of value for them in my capacity. I agree that there's opportunity for us to provide feedback if certain measures meet the muster for ethical standards, or if there are ways that we can improve. So there's a balance to that. I think in some ways we ought to do it, and in others, you know, best we stay clear just in case that becomes an ethics complaint, and then we can have some sort of independence from that.
Right.
So we'll see. But I know with regards to the agencies, there will be lots of opportunities for us to meet. We talked about eventually having a report card to take a look at the open government law and all the requirements and find out and rate these government agencies from A to, you know, needs improvement. You know, how open and transparent are you? Are you posting your meeting minutes, recordings as required by the law? And if you're not, then we ought to give recommendations for how they can achieve that. And that's our goal. And we think we can do that. And we believe that if we do that well, we're going to have a government that is transparent and is of service to the community as it should be. But we'll start with us. The highest standard comes with us, and we're going to be the gold standard. And we hold our partners, both in the community and in media, to hold us to it. Make sure that we are the gold standard.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank Thank you. You have a great morning.
You too.
You too, my friend. Take it easy. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm just gonna say though that if they come out with that report card for transparency and it's all straight A's, I'm gonna flip my lid. Because I just cannot imagine them giving Governor Liu like an F on anything. 7:31. Hey, we're coming back with the Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Senator Teresa Terlahi, next at 7:30. Hey, the link is brought to you by East West Rental. You got a big project, you go check them out. They got all kinds of rentals for your big home projects, or maybe just fun stuff. All right. Also, Cobble Enterprises, Carrier for Maricon Babies. You know who you are. You're so cool. 647 cool. Jack in the Box with the triple bonus jack. It's back, a returning favorite. Jack's triple bonus jack combo is everything you need to